Okay. I keep messing up and hitting that screen before I'm supposed to. There's a button down here where I can switch modes so that I can do all that stuff behind the scenes where you don't see it, and I keep forgetting to do that. So I apologize for the screen switching like that. But anyway, we're back, and here we are with our next team in my high school championship football series for college football 26 that we're going to be running through. Let's go ahead and get to the next team that we're spotlighting today. And we're looking at Ellender Memorial High School, the Patriots. This is another team out of Houma, Louisiana, and they are big time rivals with South Terrebonne because they share a stadium with South Terrebonne, who I just previewed, or just, yeah, previewed, because they previewed, spotlighted. Spotlight is the word I'm looking for. So once again, all of these teams are available for download. If you wish to use them, import them, and use them in your own College Football 26 video game, search username Dreadwin94. Make sure you're searching the username box and not the keyword box. All right, so back to gameplay, and we're set up. We're about ready to go. A few points on Ellender. Notable alumni: Justin Billiot, quarterback, who you're going to see in this game. He went on to play semi-pro and pro football, not NFL, but in some semi-pro and pro leagues, including teams such as the Pontiac Generals and, ironically, the Michigan Gators. I believe he is currently in the Midwest United Football League, and I apologize, I don't know which team he's on right now currently, but still notable, to go on and continue playing football in any sort of professional level is an accomplishment. Most people aren't able to do that. Another notable alumni from Ellender is Tay Martin, who is currently a wide receiver for the Washington Commanders. So, a few notable players from there. Ellender is one of the newer schools. I believe they came into existence in the mid to late 80s, I believe, and I don't think they have any record of state championships or anything like that. But they're certainly a contender amongst that division and big time rivals with all of those teams from the Houma Thibodeau area. So they do definitely take their turns wreaking havoc on some of those teams from time to time. Let's get into their uniforms, and you could probably guess what they're going to look like. They definitely model themselves off of the New England Patriots for obvious reasons. Here is their base home uniform. Now, they have several variations of their uniforms. This is pretty accurate to one of the versions that they wear. About the only thing I wasn't able to replicate was they had a blue, not really a mark, kind of a triangle shape blue spot under their arms that I just wasn't able to replicate accurately that I liked, so I ended up leaving that off. So aside from that, this is a pretty good indication of what their uniform will look like. Away uniform is all whites and pretty much kind of the same thing. Now, once again, you could see them wearing something like this or like this, and vice versa. You could see them wearing this or possibly even that at some point. Now, I also gave them an all blue uniform, which they do wear all blue uniforms as well. So I gave them that red, white, and blue. That's their colors. So again, the pants can always be swapped out with any of the other ones. So you could, you might see them like this or you might see them like that, however you want to do it. So you've got all these options available. You could do the red top with the blue pants. You could do the white top with the blue pants, which that actually looks pretty good. So those are their primary uniform options, and of course the helmet's the same on all three of those. For their fourth and fifth options, I decided to give them one of their retro looks. So going back to the late 80s and early 90s, I modeled these next uniforms off of those uniforms that they used to wear, and this is pretty much what they look like. So if any of you are familiar with them from those days, you might look at this and go, "Oh yeah, I remember that." Yeah, so they've got the old Patriot logo on the side, and then they've got more of a lighter blue color helmet and pants to go with that red jersey. And then, of course, the away version looks like this with the red pants. So retro home and retro away for those guys, and then their current home and away there. So let's go ahead and get into them now. We can go away and away. That's fine. Or you want to? I'll tell you what. Let's do their retro away. Retro away here, and let's keep their regular home here. And we'll go in. We'll take a look at the field, which technically is South Terrebonne Stadium, but due to video game magic, I'm able to give them their own field markings across the entire field, so it looks like their own home stadium. But we'll also take a peek at that roster. All right. So we are going to come here and take a peek at the roster now. Coaching depth chart. So here is Justin Billiot. He is the starting quarterback, number 12. That put it in there. And I'm trying to remember exactly what year he was there. I want to say 2010, somewhere around there. So this would be most of this roster is going to be comprised of probably 2010 to 2015. What I could pull off of Max Preps and Huddle websites is where I got all the information for these guys from. So not quite as far back as some of the previous teams that I've just shown you. Um, this is kind of getting into more recent stuff, but again, I tried to go back as far as I could with the information that I had available. But Justin Billiot will be their starting quarterback. We've got the backup quarterback here, and their third string quarterback here, and here is another quarterback. You'll see that name pop up again, by the way. Just keep that name in mind. You're going to see that pop up on another football team. Drake S.J. is their starting running back. And just to clarify, you're going to see that last name pop up, not the first name, the family name. You're going to see that family name pop up. Okay, Drake S.J., Jamal Payton, Chris Morgan, Ralph Singleton. Leonard Foss is our fullback here, and some of these teams, some of these teams don't run fullbacks anymore, but I had to put somebody at fullback, so kind of worked with what I had. And a lot of these teams too will have players listed in two positions, so they'll be listed offense and defense, and I got to pick one, right? I can't put them in both, so do what I can. But here are some of their receivers. Let's move on to the tight end real quick. Offensive linemen. Take a quick look at these. Brendan Robichaux. Good classic Cajun names there. Defensive end. Defensive tackle, Travis LaBeouf. And some of these names, if I would have tried to make up some of these names, I would have never come up with some of these that they have. So it really adds to the authenticity of this, the whole feel of it, to go in and use actual names of former players. And again, my way of just kind of, throwing a nod to these guys and saying, hey, you did something. You played. Not everybody played high school football. Some people, oh, it's just high school football. You know what? Not everybody could do that. I remember guys that tried out for our high school football team, and they didn't last very long. They quit. So, it may not seem like much to some people, but uh, not everybody could do it. Not everybody did do it. So, well, there's a Cajun name there, Rene Hebert, right? French Cajun. Kickers and punter Brent Duplantis. All right, so let's take a look at their field and their uniforms real quick in action. And then we will move on to our next team. We still got a few more to go. Thank you to anyone watching this, whether it's currently watching or at some point in the future after the fact. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Be sure to like and subscribe for my Twitch for the live streams, and I also have a YouTube channel where these will be getting posted after the fact. So you can always go back and watch them at a later date if you missed the live stream or if you miss it on Twitch, because it won't stay on Twitch forever. And again, I'm just running a couple of plays here. I'm not really trying to do anything other than I want to show you what these guys look like in action. These different camera angles. It always looks a little bit different in game when you're actually playing than it does even on the title screen, you know. There's the field you can look at. Yes, he is. Nope. Okay. All right. So that is Ellender. Take a good look at that. See what those uniforms are looking like in the game. Those retro uniforms and the modern uniforms going at each other. All right. So we're going to call it there, and we're going to move on to the next team. So I will be right back. Let's switch to the intermission screen, and I'll be right back with you while I get everything set up, hopefully behind the scenes like I'm supposed to this time.